Hey everybody, Coach Allison back, and we are in our week 6 for Defy Aging. So let's review. We have a slightly larger circuit with 6 exercises to go through for 3 rounds, and each round is going to be timed a little bit differently. After we complete that, everyone's going to split off into their own space. And we're going to do a little superset type of circuit that is all cardio, and that's going to be kind of short and sweet. And that's going to be, so superset is 2 exercises. They're both going to be cardio focused, and that's going to be timed a certain way as well. So for the 6 exercise circuit, that's going to be, like I said, 3 rounds of that. That's going to be a standard rotation around the turf. And that's going to be round 1 timed at, I can't remember this, 45 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Round 2 is 40 seconds on, 25 seconds off. And round 3 is 35 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So those numbers are all over the place, but the theme is that each round, your work and your rest both decreases slightly. And then when we get to that in your own space cardio circuit, that's going to be timed at 20 seconds on, 35 seconds off for 3 rounds. So you get a shorter work time, but a little more rest time because it's all cardio. So we do want you to have a little more recovery time between each of those little bouts of cardio. All right, let's go through all of our exercises for this week. Farmer's carry is our first station. I've done this for for quite a while, I think. So we have a kettlebell in each hand. Definitely recommend a kettlebell for a farmer's carry just because of the bottom loaded type of weight that a kettlebell offers, whereas a dumbbell is the side loaded on each side of your hand. So it offers more of a kind of clunky type of weight. And you have to make sure you're holding the weight right in the middle. Anyway, so I definitely recommend kettlebells for this. So we pick up the weights, shoulders are down and back, so your posture is nice and tall, so we're avoiding any sort of slouching or slumping. And after that, I want you to take nice controlled steps, whatever is a comfortable pace for you. We're not going for slow motion here, so I don't want you to try to go especially slow, but I certainly don't want you to try to go especially fast. So whatever speed works for you to keep these kettlebells in control. And you can think of it whatever helps for you. We had a coach recently describe it as picturing carrying 2 full buckets of water, and you're trying not to let any water spill. And I really like that visual, so you can use that. But again, whatever helps you keep these kettlebells from kind of flopping and swaying and jiggling in your hands. So your coach will have a designated space, of course, for this station where you can go down and back. And that's our farmer's carry. Right, elevated hip bridge is the next one. So we're lying flat. We have our box at our feet here. We want about a 90-degree bend in the knees to start. It doesn't have to be exactly 90, but we want it pretty close, meaning we don't want the legs to be stretched out really far like this, so greater than 90 degrees, excessively greater. Want the heels on the top of our surface. So if you have your box pressed against a wall, maybe perhaps, we don't want to be pressing the feet into the corner of whatever item you're using, like this. So instead, we're going to put the heels on the top. That forces your body to have to do a lot more control. So your muscles are going to be working significantly harder. Keep your feet slightly flexed, and we lift those hips and bring them back down. That's our hip bridge. Slow, controlled. Get them as high as you can. Quick 1-second pause at the top. Another option, if that's uncomfortable or hurting anything or not working for any reason for you, is a standard bridge, removing the elevation so feet are flat on the floor, getting those hips up as high as you can. Our option for anyone who is unable to get onto the floor, we're going to do a Romanian deadlift. So our traditional standard deadlift that we do, we'll use kettlebell, single kettlebell, or 2 dumbbells, whichever you prefer as the individual client who might be doing this option. So a single kettlebell would look like this. And we do this all the time, so I'm not going to do a long demo on this. Your coach can review it in more depth with you. But this will be our Romanian deadlift for anyone unable to get to the floor for the bridge. And that is because that's the alternative, because it focuses on generally the same targeted muscles. So it does look very different. Yes, but it's the same general muscles that are being targeted. The next one is the band reverse fly. So we're going to be targeting the upper back, kind of the rear delts, the rear shoulders. Grab your resistance band. I like to put the arms through the handles so they're not just flopping around everywhere, getting in my way. Let you grip like so. So I need you to think of this as kind of wings opening up wide and not pulling back. So this is not a row. So the arms are straight out in front of you with just a soft bend in your elbow. See this very slight bend? That position stays the same with the elbow at all times. And we open up wide and come back to the start. So as I'm doing this, I wish you can't really see back here, but I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, sort of drawing my shoulders back, and I'm popping my chest out forward. Bringing the band to the upper chest, it's really important that you're not bringing the band down low to the rib cage. So we're not coming down like here. Okay, so upper chest, coming on top of the chest. And see how I'm popping the chest out, and my shoulders are dropping back. You almost put like an arch in your back, sort of a slightly exaggerated arch in the back in order to really be sure you're drawing those shoulders back. What you're not doing is pulling back like this, like a row or like a pull down. So once you put that slight bend in that's how I meant it, think of it like wings opening up. So like a butterfly or a bird, wings just doing this. What birds or butterflies don't do is they don't have an elbow, so they don't do this, right? So if that visual helps you, but that's our band reverse fly. I want you to really feel it in the back of the shoulders here into this kind of upper back area. Next one is kind of fun. We're going to squat to a front kick. Haven't done this for a while. So standard squat position, feet are hip width apart. So get your normal squats down first. Sinking those hips down and back. Minimal forward lean, but you're going to have some. If you don't have any forward lean at all, then your knees protrude out forward, and that's not a squat. So pop your hips back. You do have some forward lean. Body weight in your heels. Once you get that down, we do a front kick, alternating the legs, the kicking leg each time. Now what you're doing here, I mean, you can see what I'm doing, but what's happening here is when you lift up one leg to kick, what are you doing? You're having to shift your weight to a single leg. So you're having to do quite a bit of balance. So that therein lies a lot of the challenge here, along with the squats and the cardio component, right? So be ready for that. Squat, shift your weight, lift, kick. Back to the normal stance. Squat, shift your weight, lift, kick. Make sure you're not leaning back when you kick. So when you kick, actually almost do more of a crunch here before you kick. So don't lean back to kick. Okay. A real kick. We're not doing real. We're not going to go into a karate competition here, but lift, extend, back, and down, all together. So to kind of try to think of that sequence for a kick instead of just kind of kicking the leg forward like a dance move. So we want a nice real kick, knee up, extend, back, and down. So all that together. Don't have to be fast here. We want it swift, but I want you to slow it down enough so you can do all those things and have everything be nice and crisp and clean and keeping your forms. If you get too fast and sloppy here, things can look like your squats can get really like wonky. So we still want nice crisp squats and nice crisp kicks. So if that means you have to slow everything down a little, that's okay. So give this one a try. Let's do some kicks. All right, single-sided dead bug. With this one, we are keeping one foot on the floor at all times. Okay, so I'll keep my right leg on the floor. And then my it's a lot of right side, left side coordination, along with a lot of core. So my right leg is gonna stay on the floor. That's for support. My opposing side arm is going to stay up at the ceiling. So right leg on the floor, left arm up at the ceiling. My other side arm and leg are going to be moving, extending and coming in. So I'm continually touching my right hand and left knee and then extending them out. But notice how my other arm and leg are not moving. I'll just keep doing it so you can kind of get a visual. Halfway through the set, you're gonna switch. So now I'm gonna, oh, I, it is hard to switch actually. I have to actually think about it. So you saw how I struggled with that? So I'm like to say I did that on purpose to show you that it's okay, but I actually did struggle with that, the switch. So if you find yourself struggling with the switching sides, don't worry about it. But the opposing side arm and leg are stationary. So my right arm, left leg, stationary. And I'm continually moving the other arm and leg, stretching, and then knee to hand. Okay, for anyone staying off the floor, we're doing a standing knee to elbow or hand to elbow. Never actually, I should say hand to elbow, because knee to elbow is never a full touch. We typically don't want you to touch because that really can sacrifice spine form. And so if anything, we'll have you reach the knee towards the elbow, but not touch. Hand to elbow or hand to knee is probably a little better. But we'll have you go alternating. So this time, for those of you doing this option, you'll alternate for the whole set instead of doing a continual one side. So if you're going to do the knee towards elbow, you'll get a little more rotation. But again, I don't advise you to force yourself to touch the knee to the elbow because it forces you to have to see how I'm having to round my back and sacrifice that spine position. So we don't necessarily want that. So you can reach the knee towards the elbow. That gives you a little more of a twist, but do not force that touch because you're just gonna crank that back too much. So kind of preferred to touch the hand to the knee. So a couple of options there, but a lot of cognitive right brain, left brain, which is a great part about this exercise. So let's give it a try. All right, kneeling side to side slam is the last station. So we're in a tall kneeling position with one of these bouncier ball medicine balls. So we do this standing side to side slam quite often. So this is the same mechanics, however we are kneeling. Okay, so we're gonna start on one side bounce. We wanna arch over the head, bounce on the other side. That big overhead arch is important because it creates the momentum to kind of start your next throw. Okay, so what we wanna avoid is this, kind of bringing it over side to side. I want you to, plus the range of motion makes your body work harder. You're gonna get more out of it, burn more calories, get the heart rate up higher, so all of that stuff. So I want that big arch, side to side. Anyone that's avoiding kneeling onto the floor, we're gonna do our standard standing version. Okay, you might think the standing one's harder. You have to slam it a little harder, but just for your own information, the kneeling one incorporates a little more core. You're closer to the ground, so you have to engage that core more. You have a little less space between yourself and the ball and the floor to create that momentum for the slam. So, just if you're curious, so that's our kneeling side to side slam. So after we wrap up that full circuit of 6 exercises for the 3 sets, then everyone splits off into their own space. We have a cardio superset for 3 rounds. Here are the exercises in that. Mountain climbers. Lots of ways to do these. There's typically 3 different ways to execute the mountain climbers, and then you can do those 3 options on the floor or on an incline. So it's kind of 6 options. So you can, on an incline or on the floor, you can do a full run. Okay. You can do more of a hop. You can do a toe tap. And then you can take all three of those options flat onto the floor. Oh my goodness. Whatever option you choose, the most important thing is your body position, meaning you need your shoulders directly over your hands. And what I mean by that is, see how my shoulders are right over my hands and I'm in that nice plank position? I'm not doing this. So I'm not doing this, not doing this, but I'm gonna scoot my body forward, shift my hips down, there. Okay, it's super important. We just need that nice diagonal or that nice flat back position. If I'm on the floor, it's gonna look like this. Shoulders directly over hands. Not this. Hands way up there, shoulders way back here. So that's a very important thing to remember with mountain climbers. So those are the three options: incline or flat. Pick what's appropriate for you. The work time is 20 seconds. The second exercise in the cardio circuit is a side-to-side hop over the band. And I do want everyone to use the band. It's very important, especially with Defy aging. And we can go hop anywhere, which is great. It gets the same effect as far as cardiovascular work, right? But having something to hop over as far as Defy aging is concerned is a huge part of the purpose of our programming, and that is to help us continue to practice and learn how to pick up our feet as we continue to get older. And we're not going to be dragging those feet. So if you have something to force yourself to have to jump over, it's going to continue to help us to train our bodies to have to pick up those feet. So grab a resistance band or a jump rope or just anything that we can lie down on the floor like this. And we're going to do side-to-side hops over the band. You can go forward if you want to do it more of a zigzag and go forward and back. That's fine. I don't care. But just for the most part, we just want to go side to side. You can go fast if that's the level you're at. You can go slower, one at a time, kind of wind up for each jump. A puddle hop would be another option. That means you're leading with one leg. Okay, that's going to be less impact. It's going to be a little softer. It's also a great place to start at if this is kind of newer for you. The double leg jump is definitely more advanced. So work to where you are at right now. Maybe work towards that double foot jump. If you hit the band like that, that's okay. Straighten it out. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. That's why we are practicing this. And then you just know to get those feet up a little bit more. Okay, so that's our side-to-side jumps over the band. All right, so our team builder is a single leg balance challenge. We're going to do both legs because you might be very surprised with yourself. One leg might be, they might be pretty similar, or one leg might be significantly better at balancing than the other. So it's exactly what it sounds like. Your coach will call out, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to pick up the leg, one leg, and see how long we can hold it. A couple of things here. We want to get this leg up to 90 degrees if possible. That's a true balance. And we can't push the up leg into the balancing leg. That's technically, when we do balance testing, which we're not doing true testing today this week, but when we actually do balance testing, this doesn't count. This disqualifies. So if we want to use those guidelines, this wouldn't count. So yeah, the guidelines when we're doing true testing is the up leg is 90 degrees here, and you can't press the leg into the other leg. So if you want to use that protocol, just FYI, see how long we can balance on each leg. For those of you who take our Defy multiple times throughout the week, we're going to have the coaches jot some times down on the mirror if you want. You don't have to. We can use initials or don't want to use your full name. And we'll see if times improve throughout the week. All right, that wraps up week 6. A couple of new exercises. I hope everyone enjoys them. See you back for week 7.